All right. Good afternoon, fam. Today I've been getting a lot of questions lately about composting and where I get my compost and how I do my compost. So in this video, I'm going to show you, kind of give you a the basic way that I generally do it. Okay, you see these food scraps, pizza from the weekend, and yeah, there's pepperoni, whatever. There's bread, light bread. There's corn. There's eggshells. See that? These are food scraps. Tomatoes, whatever, lettuce from dinner. And yes, here's some fish that I cooked the other day. You know them catfish I showed y'all on the video. That's the remnants of that. And it's cooked and it's got cornmeal on it. And yes, it's going in the compost pile. Thank you very much. Now, see, okay, I usually take that. And this is the grass that I got out of the garden. You seen the other video when I was getting the grass and the weeds out of the garden. I'll take that, and then I'll just take the food scraps, and I'll just throw them in there, just like that. See? All your food scraps, and you cover it up. See, the eggshells make great calcium. Now, I cover it up, like this. And I know you will, well, how are the varmints? You know, don't worry about the varmints. Because there's plenty out here. You see all these woods out here. I live in Arkansas, in the country, stone country. All right, now, and I cover it up, and then I cover it up, and I have boards like this on some of these, and I'm gonna uncover them and see how that's coming along. Those are boards I cover up, and I'll do the same here. Now, and after I don't use this in my garden just now. I let that be in here for 2 months, a month, 2 months, and let it just decompose and do its thing, you know. And after a while, it gets like this, you know. Now here's another compost bin. You see how rich and black that is? Now I need to be really draining this out because there's too much water in there. But there's some worms in here. But it, you know, if it's wet and warm, it decomposes quicker. And I don't quite use that just yet in my garden or in my finished compost bin. All right, so I'm gonna go over here and show you my finished compost bin. Okay, before I go to my finished compost bin, I want to let you guys see what else I put in there. And these are wood mulch, you know, wood chips from when they grind those trees up when they're cleaning along the power lines. I get truckloads of this. But anyway, they pile it up for me. And this is what I put this in with my food scraps. Put that in with my food scraps and those weeds, okay? And I'm going to show you what else I put in there. Okay, you see this? This is some manure, horse manure, okay? That goes in. It doesn't go in my finished box. It goes in my composting when I'm making compost. I also combine that in there, okay? I put that in my tub, my little boat or whatever, my compost bin back there. I combine those wood chips and this and food scraps and weeds. I got some more stuff. Okay, here's my smoker here. Here's some more amendments that I put in there. Now, I come in when I get through smoking meat. There's not been any meat or anything in here, just only wood. Here's the ashes from the wood. I put that in my compost bin also, my pre-bin, and I'll mix that in there with it too. There's some of the wood that I burn when I'm cooking. Well, this is boat art. So I don't cook with that. I just burn wood with it when I'm cooking on top of my grill. I noticed in a video about grills, so that's it. But this is what when I'm cooking something on top of here. That's what I use boat art for. Okay. Now here's my chicken coop. I gotta get some chickens later, but chickens been in here, so they have nitrogen. You know, they have nitrogen, so I'll use this soil here. Once I get it all cleaned and dug out, I'll mix that in also. Okay, now once I mix all that into this boat or it's been here, all those amendments I showed you, I just let this be like this for like a couple of months or whatever, and then here it would be the result of after it decomposes and of my compost. Okay, and after a couple of months of doing this thing in the other boat down there, I start bringing it up here by the wheelbarrow fulls and putting it in here because it's basically finished. And here's my finished stuff here. Okay, that's your good organic compost mix, and this is what I use for fertilizer in my garden. Now, as you can see on the last video, I didn't have my strainer built, so I built that the other day. You know how I was straining that the other day. It was kind of funky, but so I went ahead and built me a strainer here. And look over here once again. You've seen this before, but see what's popping up? These are some seeds I just threw out here a few weeks ago, I guess, and stuff is coming up now. I know that's a tomato plant right there, so I'll save that. I really don't know what these are right here. Look like it may be in the cantaloupe family or something. I don't know. But here's some more tomatoes right here. And this is, like I said, this, I'm going to show you something else when I go in the garden. But this is the compost, finished compost, and after I strain it, it's a lot finer than that, as you saw on previous videos. All right, so now I'll show you a bed. Here's some tomato plants. Here's a bed that's about just ready to go. And see, this is the dirt from last year. Now, a year ago when I put wood chips and put dirt in it, from last year, this is the result. So I mixed what you just saw in my compost bin, the fertilized, what I call my fertilized compost. I put like a bucket or so of that in this and mix it in together. And all this dirt was wood chips at one point in time and compost, table scraps, but when I get it to this stage, it's pretty much finished, which is a matter of months. Here's my rosemary bush. It overwintered, so it's in the middle of my tomato row. I'm going to make a row of tomatoes, and I'm kind of organizing it or arranging my tomato plants to where a lot of the bigger tomatoes, big boys, whoppers, and things like that, are going to be in this row. I'm going to leave that rosemary bush there because it's just there. And I've been cleaning out some rows today and planting, but I'm going to have this row, which these boxes are skinnier. They're like, I think they're 24 inches by 32 inches, about half the size of that, something like that. And that's when I planted my individual atomic grape there. But I'm going to plant 2 tomatoes in each one of these boxes. But listen, these are all cherry tomatoes, small tomatoes, so plants. So this is Sweet 100 here, and I got a chocolate cherry there. I'm in the sun, but I got an atomic grape, which is a kind of a grape tomato, blah, blah, blah. And then I got a Rapunzel. I like the Rapunzel. They're a little larger, and I like the way they do the cluster. And then this next one, I'm going to put. I got the ones that you saw in another video about my Sun Gold, which is a cherry tomato, and I got Ping Pong. I got several types of smaller tomatoes, so this will be busy pickings when they come. But I'm going to have all like cherry type tomatoes in this row, and in this row that'll be my bigger tomatoes, slicing tomatoes and things like that. And like I said, this one we'll have some of my exotics, like the Mint Jubilee, which they don't get very large. Like I said, Ping Pong, and just different exotic ones. Small yellow tomatoes, which has a tart taste to them, and like I said, so that's what I'm going to do in this row. All right, but anyway, this was about composting and how I make compost. I just thought I'd show you this along with it. All right, thanks a lot.